All right, I'm walking down towards the Djemma el-Fna main square into the Marrakesh Medina. Got about an hour of daylight left. As you can see, it's just madness down here though. There's so many people, a lot of tourists, but also balanced with a lot of locals. So it's kind of an authentic neighborhood. All right, heading down to the square, which is right there ahead in the bright spot in the distance. And things are definitely picking up at this hour. So this is actually my third visit to Marrakesh. I was first here in 2004, and then I went back with my sister back in 2016 in the summer. And this is one of the world's great spectacles. Djemma el-Fna, the major square in the old Medina here in Marrakesh. One of Africa's coolest sights right here. A few things on the to-do list that I need to try while I'm back here. So fresh orange juice. There's also a ginger and cardamom tea that's really good, served with like a cake that has pretty much those same spices. And there's lots of food stalls. I learned the hard way, the first time I was here, that the food stalls are actually a ripoff and you get gouged. So they might say the meal is like $3 or $4 US. It ends up being like 15 by the time they charge you for the salt, charge you for the utensils, charge you for the olives and bread. So everything has a charge. It's one of the greatest scams, I suppose. But, and the food's not really that great compared to like a restaurant. So it is what it is. Again, I'm not wowed by this just because I've been here twice before, so it's not novel to me, but it is really worth seeing, and that's why I'm documenting it, at least for you guys, to get a sense of the madness and chaos here in Djemma el-Fna. So this is the second time this has happened to me today, where I went to withdraw roughly $200 out of the ATM, and it took my money out of my bank account, but it did not dispense any money, so I've had to file disputes with my bank, but if you're coming to Morocco, maybe bring some cash. All right, the sun is finally setting, so you can see the beautiful lights coming up now. This place has not changed in 20 years. They've been doing this pretty much every day since the first time I was here, and well before that. If you look down this way, that is the Koutoubia Mosque, one of the city's most impressive landmarks right there. Gonna go head there tomorrow during the day to check it out in the daytime. Gonna head into this madness here. Very atmospheric, very cool cultural experience here. Highly recommend, if you've never been to Morocco, to definitely check out the country. It's safe as can be, really pleasant to travel. A few hiccups in terms of ATMs and so forth, but nothing too major. So you can see the fresh juice stands here. There's outdoor dining, games. It's a pretty wild experience, and I'm not even in the thick of it yet. Lots of spice vendors, nuts. It's just a bustling marketplace, and it's at its very best right now after dark. Pretty bustling place. You gotta be on guard though. I'm sure pickpockets are a thing here for sure. So one of the downsides is they do allow motorbikes in here, so I almost got hit twice already. They come around the corner without you knowing it, and that's that. You can pretty much buy anything you want in this market. There's so much in the souks here. All right, so I got myself a tea here at this traditional place. They serve a little cake and tea. So this was 3 dirhams, pretty cheap. So you can see the tea is made out of a variety of different spices, galangal, ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, lots of things I don't know, lavender. I'll give this a shot. I remember this being really delicious, so can't wait to try it. Oh my goodness, it's exactly as good as I remember it. It's very flavorful, extremely spicy, and just a little bit sweet, so not too sweet. It's actually really, really, really warming on a colder winter night like tonight. That's really good. Literally thousands of people stretching all the way down to the Koutoubia Mosque and all the way across the massive square here in all directions. So it is definitely a lively party tonight. Looks like there's a game here involving trying to put a ring around the bottles is what they're doing. So I can't quite describe just how amazing Marrakesh smells. There's incense burning pretty much on every corner. Lots of these beautiful lanterns for sale. And here are the juice stalls. This is something you absolutely must do. Oh, it's actually only 5 dirhams at this stall, so I lucked out stumbling upon this one. The other guy was charging 20, so do shop around. This is number 36 here at el-Fna. This stuff's actually pretty incredible. So freshly squeezed, and it's not too expensive. 50 cents, basically, 5 dirham. So that said, you do need to be on guard here at el-Fna. To give you an example, I clearly ordered a petite orange or a small orange juice, and he conveniently heard large. So I sent it back and I only paid for a small, but it'll happen to you. Overcharging and attempting to overcharge is, I guess, all part of the fun here, but I'm gonna enjoy this. Excellent. So really ornate food stalls here. They're doing some barbecue here, barbecued grilled meats, brochettes. Maybe if I was younger, I would give the escargot a shot, but I tell you, I'm not really willing to ruin this West Africa adventure by getting food poisoning from some escargot that I don't really want in the first place. So I ain't Andrew Zimmern, and I'm not going to eat bizarre foods. Well, y'all know how much I love shopping, so I probably won't be taking you through the souks to a great extent, but a lot of things for sale, handicrafts, leather. I mean, the tanneries are so close that there's a lot of leather actually here. Spices, tagines, and other Moroccan cookware. Lots for sale, but again, I'm not going to be doing too much shopping or anything like that. I don't have any room for it. I'm going to West Africa, so even the motorbikes in here, it's kind of crazy, very congested. But lots of different things to buy here if you're in the mood for shopping at least. And a lot of cats. All right, getting into the thick of it here. Lots of stalls selling pretty much everything your tourist heart would want. So these, again, are notorious ripoffs. They overcharge as general practice here, unfortunately. I'm going to brave it, though, and walk right through it. It does smell pretty good, though. I got some goat's heads there. It's a bit more organized than when I was here last. I remember sitting outside. They actually have these overhead tents, probably because it's raining. It's a rainy season. In the summer, though, I remember this just being outdoors around tables that don't have these tents over them. Pretty cool place, though. Looks like most entrees run about 30 to 50 dirhams. But again, they add a lot of extra charges on by the end of the bill, as I learned the hard way about 18 years ago.
Take picture, you're welcome.
No,
Take picture if you want.
It's okay.
Small gift is $1. Small gift.
Okay. So it is still as busy as ever down here in Djemma el-Fna. This is a tourist trap, unavoidably, but it is pretty cool. There are tons of street performers out now, as you can see, dances. I don't see as many snake charmers as I used to. Back in the 2000s, you'd see a lot of snake charmers around, but there really aren't that many anymore. I did see one monkey though, so there's that. It's like just musical performances. You can pay the buskers. Very cool. So tons of horse-drawn carriages here as well. I think they're called kaleches. So that's the Koutoubia Mosque. I believe it's from the 13th century, so quite old. And these people mean business. They are just fishing their hearts away here, trying to land these rings on the bottles. Pull them over to their side. I think that's the goal here. not sure what you win, but looks like people are very determined. Back for some spiced tea at cart number 70. Hi, how are you? Hi. I tell you, I don't know what that is in there, but man, it hits the spot. I tell you, it's probably something illegal at this point. I don't know, but it's really good. This is my fourth, so I got to be stopped. So I just learned that the name of this stuff is khodnjal in Arabic. So Khodnjan, khodnjal. Really, really, really good stuff. So I've come here so many times, I think, that they have given me a little treat here. And this is a special version of the spice tea with eucalyptus added. And it smells exactly like, I guess, Halls or some sort of nasal decongestant. It's so powerful. It's like Vicks Vapo Rub, basically. It tastes like having a couple of Hall's cough drops dropped into the regular tea, but really cool. And I am telling you folks, if you stand here long enough, they keep handing these to you for free. So, wow, I think I'm done for ginger tea for tonight, but man, I have gotten my share for this trip. So pretty well, my entire insides are just burning with spice. That was really generous of them, but I have drank a lot of cinnamon, cloves, and other spices today. I feel very, very cleaned out in terms of my lungs. So really good stuff, but man, they are a riot. Stall number 70. All right, I am saying goodbye now to Djemma el-Fna. That was an incredible experience, as good as I remember it. They seem to have modernized it and changed it a little bit here and there, but still at its very core, it is authentically Moroccan and one of the best cultural experiences that you'll ever get to see on Earth. So I'm gonna go get some dinner now down at one of the off-square restaurants, just so I don't have to haggle and feel like I'm being screwed over. All right, I just sat down to dinner here. Found a restaurant with some vegetarian Tajine, so it looks pretty good. It's definitely sizzling. It's about 35 or so dirham, so pretty inexpensive. I'm already trying this out. It's really good. It's like a assortment of green beans, carrots, potato, lemons, and olives. So unusual mix, but it's really good. So just walking back to the hotel now, and it is downright cold in Morocco in the winter, just so you're aware.
Like India, fraudulent hotel listings are a common problem in Morocco, which I'd unfortunately learned the hard way this evening. It's not uncommon for disreputable hotel operators to post fake photos and reviews in an effort to mislead customers into booking non-refundable reservations.
So if you're wondering where I'm staying in the scam hotel, there's the Koutoubia Mosque right there in the distance, and it's just down the road. It has this massive yellow hotel sign out front with no other signage. Hopefully this will help somebody prevent getting ripped off. It's charming in some ways, but it is pretty filthy. Just to give you an idea, you can see just how decrepit it is. This is about $60 US, 50, 60 US. And the pillow is just filthy. I don't know if you can see this, but you definitely need to be cautious when you're booking properties in Morocco. There are a lot of fake reviews online. There's just a glut of these riads and hotels. So you don't really know what you're going to get until you actually show up in the room. And unfortunately, I did get conned. They do try to get your business by lying on Expedia and so forth. Fake photos, fake reviews. So no refund. They really saw me coming, I guess. Oh my goodness. It is just filthy. Really run down. So definitely not worth 50 to 60 US dollars. All right, good morning from Marrakesh, Morocco. I found myself a little roadside cafe here. Typical Moroccan tea / coffee cafe. And got myself a morning espresso. So cheap coffee, cheap tea here in Morocco. It's always a good experience to come to these local cafes. I really love it. I believe this was about 3 or so dirhams, about 50 cents. So not too bad at all. Excellent coffee. And next up is my very first mint tea here in Morocco. This is a staple and it's pretty ubiquitous. You can pretty much find it everywhere here, and it's as good as it sounds. Very cheap too. Oh, it's not sweetened at all, so they give you sugar if you do want it sweet, so at least you can control it to your liking. Myself, I tend to not prefer sweet things, so I don't really put too much sugar or anything. This is actually pretty good on its own, but though I remember Moroccan mint tea being very sweet, I'll probably add a cube just to have the full experience. But yeah, delicious, and everywhere. You can find this pretty much on every street corner, every town, every village here in Morocco. And as you can see, those are extremely large sugar cubes, like huge, like double the size of a normal one. So there it goes. That's gonna be enough for me, I'm guessing. It's so much sugar. Breakfast of champions right here. All right, sweeten. Oh yeah, that's good. That's exactly what I remember. Wow. I pulled that sugar out just in time. It's getting pretty sweet, so really good though, really refreshing. And my goodness, it's so cold outside. That's the one thing I didn't really anticipate coming to Morocco in February. I packed shorts and I packed all these really warm weather clothes thinking that I was going to be, sweating to death here, but Morocco is pretty well, northern to central Europe in terms of temperature. It's 10 degrees here, and that is partly due to the fact that I'm here in the Atlas Mountains, so it's a lot cooler up here in the higher altitudes compared to the coast of Morocco. But even so, 10 degrees in Africa in February, so it's wild, and my goodness, I'm not dressed for it, so definitely need to stay warm while I'm here in the higher altitudes. So I am making my way down here to the Koutoubia Mosque, which is the largest and oldest mosque here in Marrakech. Beautiful structure. And it is quite finely detailed. You can see those Moorish arches etched into the facade, which you can find all across southern Spain as well. So this mosque was founded in 1147 AD by the Caliph Abd al-Mumin, shortly after he conquered Marrakech from the Almoravids. And it is said that this mosque likely inspired other famous buildings, other structures of its era, such as the Giralda in Sevilla, Spain, and the mosque, Hassan II Mosque, I believe it's called, in the capital city of Rabat. Pretty impressive. You can see these stunning Moorish arches around the base of the mosque. And as is the case with all mosques here in Morocco, non-Muslims are not allowed to enter, so there are no tours of the interior or anything like that. It's not as liberal, I would say, as other Muslim countries that do allow tourists inside their mosques, but that is what it is. You can still admire it from the outside, so very cool. Just plenty of atmospheric Moorish arches around every corner here. It looks like they're selling trinkets, prayer mats, hats, and so forth. And here they're selling some of these little desert cactus blossoms. Really interesting. That's unique. Looks like I don't even know, dragon fruit or something inside. It's really odd. So it's actually a pretty perfect time of year to go. Now that the sun is coming up, it's getting a little bit warmer out. Really mild though. It's not oppressively hot or anything, just pleasant. And a great way to soak up these beautiful Moorish arches. The crowds are picking up though, for sure, so it's harder to get a photo without anybody in the way, but part of being a traveler, I suppose. Very cool minaret. You can see those green tiles at the very top of it as well. A little mosaic. And if you look at the trees here in the garden in front of the minaret, there's oranges all over. So I found this sugarcane stand right outside of the mosque here, and they're selling cups of sugarcane juice for just 10 dirhams. So about €1 or $1.30, $1.40 Canadian. This is really good stuff too, and it's hard to find, especially as a Canadian. You're gonna have to go overseas to find it, really. You can see it's just coming right out of there.
right?
Got some lemon in there to flavor it up, I guess. Very cool. Merci beaucoup. So another beautiful Moorish arch. Pretty incredible. And I just bought a coffee from this street seller right here, Moroccan-made Berber coffee. Looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna try this Berber Starbucks. I'm a little bit hesitant about this one. The vendor could not explain what was really in it, so just random spices, and he warned me not to drink it all at once, so I'm not sure what that means. But this is probably the most adventurous thing I've ever done in a long time. This is 3 dirhams, so just under 50 cents. We'll see how this is. Definitely smells of cloves and cinnamon, probably cardamom. Oh, it's pretty bitter. I'm not sure if that's coffee, but it tastes kind of similar to the coffee you can get in the Middle East when they have the spiced coffees that they serve pretty well everywhere. Very sweet. I can't say I love this. All right, I am back down here in Djemma el-Fna, and as you can see, it's a little bit more subdued today than it was last night, as this is primarily a night market, so not a ton going on right now, but there are some street performers, a few carts open, the juice stalls are open, but it definitely is slower pace than it was last night and a lot fewer people. All right, I am going to try another one of these freshly squeezed orange juices here at Djemma el-Fna. This was again 5 dirhams, so just about, oh, let's say 80 cents Canadian. Not very expensive whatsoever, and delicious. So good. And I needed a palate cleanser after that relatively disgusting Berber coffee. So my tongue was getting numb. Like there was something in it, maybe the cloves acted as like an analgesic. This is good though. 5 dirhams, very cheap. You can get a sense of the vibe down here, though it is pretty loud and I don't have the right camera right now to hear me very well, but just randomness everywhere. There's like a peacock, tropical birds, there's some chickens over there, and just an atmospheric place. Beautiful mosque here on the left. You get the sense of it. Restaurants. Pretty wild vibe. One of the best markets on earth and probably one of the top 5 cultural experiences on earth. Gonna go get some lunch. Heading up to one of these restaurant terraces for some views over the city. This is the Chez Chegrouni. All right, I'm just sitting down to brunch here at Chez Chegrouni. Ordered myself another delicious Moroccan mint tea, and I scored this amazing view over Djemma el-Fna. So this is one of the terrace seats that I'm at, and just incredible views over the entire square. It's a bit expensive. This was about $5 Canadian, so not cheap for a small omelette and fries, but you are pretty much just paying for the view, so I'm not going to complain too much. You can hear the call to prayer starting right now. So I am saying goodbye to Djemma el-Fna. I might come back this evening. It depends if I stay in town or move on to a different destination. It's really hard to be in a bad mood here. It's just so pleasant. Really cool, and a lot of really cheap eats. So, you know, less than $1 for a freshly squeezed orange juice that would cost $5 back in Canada, or a glass of tea that would cost you minimum $2 to $3 is only like 35 cents here. So it's a very, very reasonable destination. All right, I'm just wandering around the Medina right now, trying to find my new hotel. I managed to find a property that was only 10 euros per night, or 13.50, 14 bucks Canadian. Really inexpensive. And it has really good reviews. So this is the new hotel that I was staying at. This is the Hotel a Day. So this is pretty much the same quality as last night, but this is not $75. This is 10 euros. So 15, I think I paid round about Canadian. It was 109 dirham or something like that. Does have a shared bathroom outside, but I don't really care. It's just for a quick night, and I'm out of here at 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to the coast of Morocco. So this is a very low ceiling, as you could see. I'm kind of staying in a little hobbit cave, but hey, it'll do. I gotta say, the one thing that they don't prepare you for here is walking down these really slippery tiles. There's no handrail or anything, you just gotta go for it, but I'm gonna break my neck. But yeah, really beautiful guest house here. Beautiful accented doorways, a Moorish arch. Yeah, the only downside of these places is these staircases for sure. They're so narrow and it could be easy to fall, so you gotta be really careful. All right, I'm on board the city bus here in Marrakesh, which is actually really reliable and predictable. So they do list all their routes on Google Maps. And it saves a lot of money compared to taxis, so it's not really that much slower. And the average fare, or the only fare here, is 3.5 dirham, which is exactly 50 cents Canadian, so very inexpensive. And it gets you where you need to go pretty conveniently. So this is one of the many bobs or gates of the city right here, the north end of the Medina. All right, I am down here in the Guilim district of Marrakech, which is the new town, or Ville Nouveau. And you can see these beautiful light displays in the evening. So they're trying to beautify the place. This is the richest part of town, of course. A lot of American businesses here. There's a Zara behind me, Starbucks, and tons of American brands here. So I decided to walk back from the Guilim New Town district, and I'm passing by the city gate. So this is the gate to the Medina of Marrakech, the ancient gates, or the Bab. There's the other side of it. I'm assuming it was once connected somehow, or I'm not sure how that worked, but in any case, I'm just shy of the Koutoubia Mosque. There are a few attractions that I decided not to visit during my time here in Marrakech, and most of those had to do with Yves Saint Laurent, the fashion designer. So his mansion is here in Marrakech, where he lived with his partner, and I am not too interested. So there's that. There's also a couple impressive, I guess, traditional homes, mansions of the Moorish style from the 1800s or so, which would be cool, but I just have to axe a few things in order to see everything I want to see here. So I do have to move on tomorrow if I'm going to make it to West Africa in a timely manner. Pretty incredible views of the mosque at night though. Wow. All right, good morning from the Marrakesh Medina. Just on my way back to Djemma el-Fna Square to get some breakfast. It is a really rainy day today, as you can see. All right, back in Djemma el-Fna. The place I'm staying is actually really close to it. It's only like a 2-3 minute walk at best. So I'm likely going to be leaving Marrakech this morning. It's pretty lousy weather here, so I'm probably going to move down towards the coastline at Essaouira. Looks like a cool city. The weather here just is pretty atrocious, and it's really cold, so kind of losing hope that Marrakech is really visitable in the winter. I really enjoyed it a lot more in the summer, though I've enjoyed my time here. It's just a bit wet and cold. So I'm back at the juice stall for a little morning breakfast drink. So I got myself, again, mandarin orange juice. I'm not really branching out because that's all I really want. Definitely gonna miss this when I leave Marrakech, oh my goodness. So as you can see, Djemma el-Fna is really dead at this hour on this really gloomy and rainy Sunday morning. All the food carts are gone. They've been packed up and moved away until this evening. I think it'll pick up later on if the weather gets better, but I'm guessing a lot of vendors and a lot of performers are just not coming out because of the weather. All right, walking through the souks. It's like spice market, desserts. Some clothing on this side. But if you're a shopper, you definitely love it in Marrakesh because they do have a pretty outstanding souk here. There's a lot of variety and it's quite authentic. But I hate to shop, so it won't be me that's buying it necessarily unless I really need something. Just like different dried fruits and nuts, souvenirs, tea and other spices over here, and the occasional Moorish arch. Those Tajine pots right there, that's unique to Morocco. It's basically a steam pot for cooking couscous and tagines. Some leather here from the tanneries. If you're wondering why I hate shopping so much on these trips, it's that I'm pretty much at full capacity lugging stuff around as it is right now, and it's pretty much it. Oh, a cat right there. So I remember visiting the souks 18 years ago, and yeah, a bit more subdued back then. A little bit, I'd say, more authentic. Look, there's a mosque right here. So this part of the souk is covered. And I'm glad because you can hear the rain above. It's just getting intense out there. And they do sell perfumes and argan oil and things like that. These traditional dresses. Probably just gonna go get breakfast now and then head down to the train station. All right, so I've arrived here at the Super Tours bus terminal. I'm gonna go get a ticket to Essaouira. It leaves in about 2.5 hours, so I'm gonna have some time to go head to Starbucks in the main train station and then make my way to the Atlantic coast. Should be about a 3-hour ride to get over there. So this is the impressive Marrakesh railway station, and you can see just how finely detailed it is with all these geometric designs on the facade. Unfortunately, the rain is coming down, so much for the Sahara Desert. At this point, I think it's all fake news. Just kidding. All right, I'm getting ready to board the bus to Essaouira. Looks like it's right on time, so I should get in just before 6 p.m. tonight. So just about 3 hours after leaving Marrakesh, we have arrived here in Essaouira. You can see my first views there of the city's ramparts. Massive wall that runs all around the city. And you can see the cannons on the very top of it. A lot of history here. Bus ride was pretty smooth and I arrived to really sunny weather, mild temperatures with about 20 degrees, but it was a pretty decent bus ride. It actually went by a lot faster than I had expected, so that was nice. Glad to be here in Essaouira, and I can't wait to check out this historic city on the coast of Morocco. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified when new episodes are posted. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.